Hello everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. Well, sort of a game review. It's, I guess, sort of a game. I'm reviewing Erica. It was developed by Flavourworks and published by Sony and was originally released on August 19th of 2019 for the PlayStation 4. What exactly is Erica? It is an interactive live-action thriller about a girl named Erica dealing with the traumatic loss of her father and a violent past with a cult. Now, as you go through this roughly 2-hour-long game story, you play as Erica as she tries to tackle her memories and find out what happened as you dive deeper down her mental rabbit hole. And like I said, it is an interactive adventure and has 7 different endings that is based off what choices you make through the game, which does lead to some replay value, sort of. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to explain to you. There are other games out on the market that are similar like this. Some people have claimed that this is similar to the TV show Bandersnatch, but I think it plays out more of like a David Cage movie. You know, David Cage made all those games like Detroit Beyond Human, where it's almost like an interactive adventure. It reminds me more of that, but with not the ability to control the movement of any characters other than certain select key parts on this quote game. This is a movie, okay? It is an interactive movie, almost like a choose your adventure storybook, where as you watch the movie as it's playing, you'll have interactive prompts that will appear on the screen as you pick certain locations to look at that your character will then go to, or different options in terms of how they feel or certain things they want to say or interact with. And based on your decisions that you make, that will progress you through the story as you dive deeper into this weird occult thriller about murder and, you know, all kinds of really weird stuff ends up leading up to one of 7 different game endings. Honestly, it is really an intriguing style game. I love the overall the acting of all the characters in this is just top notch. They do a fantastic job. The production value is way better than what I would expected. And honestly, the only downfall I would have to say to quote this interactive adventure is the interactive parts. Now, what I mean by that is here's a nice little option with this game as well. You can play it in 2 different ways. You can play it with your normal PlayStation 4 controller's touchscreen. That's right, people. This is a game that uses swiping and finger movements to actually pick every single thing through the game. You can either use your PlayStation 4 touchpad, or you have this handy-dandy option of downloading a free app called the Erica app and using your smartphone to play the game as well. Now, what I mean by that is instead of using your controller touchpad, you use your phone screen to swipe in different directions, to pinch, to pull up and down, to do the game. And it has a neat option to where you can actually enable your PS4 system as a Wi-Fi hotspot and link up with your smartphone to where you can actually use your smartphone as the controller. You don't have to do it that way. You can also just use your normal Wi-Fi and stuff like that. But I tested it. It does work. It took a little bit of time to figure it out, but it wasn't difficult. And for somebody like me who is really stupid with smartphones, I was able to figure it out in less than 5 minutes. So it's not hard to link up to be able to use the phone instead of your controller. Now, what is the difference between the phone and your controller? I will say hands down, this game I think was meant to be played with your smartphone. The touch screen on a smartphone is a lot bigger, and I think it's a lot more sensitive in terms of the relation of your finger swipes than when you use the PlayStation controller. And the PlayStation controller's touchscreen is so much smaller, even compared to a really small smartphone, that I find it more difficult to actually perform the swipes needed on the PS4 controller to progress through the story. Plus, there's certain parts where it picks up and you need to do the decisions quickly. And on the PS4 controller, it's very touchy. It's really hard to get the icon to go exactly where you want it to go in order to do this. Well, on the smartphone, you can just sit back with your smartphone in your hand, watching the movie, and when certain things pop up and you get to make decisions, you can very easily just use your smartphone to swipe to the right direction of where you want to go to get the characters' decisions to pick the way you want them to do it. Honestly, it was actually cool. I like this. I do like games like this. The story is quite intriguing, and like I said, the acting, the production values, the location, the overall ambiance, and this action thriller aspect of it while you're in this house with these other, I'm just going to say kids that have problems. It actually was very intriguing, and I did enjoy playing through it to actually see all the different endings. And the other neat little thing about it is you do get trophies for playing through this interactive experience. So if you're somebody that really don't mind watching a pretty decent short movie and actually getting unlockables, nice trophies, including a nice platinum for doing certain things, it's kind of cool. I think there's 34 different trophies you can get in this game, and it's based off the different directions you take, the different decisions you make, and of course the different endings that you receive. Honestly, I love the way they actually have the certain interactive parts where you're actually interacting with objects on screen, and it's done quite well. Like I said, it reminds me if David Cage actually went and made a movie. That's really the best way I can describe it in terms of the quote gameplay, because like I said, it's you watching a movie, and at certain parts things will light up on screen to say either look over here, talk to this person, or choose these decisions, and that's really all it is. But it also kind of reminds me of like a modern day take on like a Dragon's Lair game, only in a movie format. I mean, I've always kind of liked games this style when they're done correctly, and this one does have enough of an intriguing story to actually get you to go through it. Now that I've actually said that, I cannot have a non-biased review without picking every single side of this quote story. I can't just give it all praise without pointing out certain flaws that this title does actually have. Now, first of all, I have to say it's almost like they I wouldn't say force you to do it, but it's kind of recommended you play with your smartphone. Like I said earlier, the touchpad on the PS4 controller is finicky and it's a little too small for what you need to do in this, and it just works so much easier with your smartphone, to where I think that that's kind of it wouldn't be a detriment to the game, but it's something that you need to remember that really is something you'll have to actually worry about when you're playing this, is that using your smartphone, it just works way better. That's not really a major flaw with it, but the major flaw I have to say with this is I love the characters in the story, but they have so much padding in this, so much mundane crap you have to do to progress the story. Now, a good example is there'll be a certain thing where you'll go into a room and you have to look through these dresser drawers. Well, that's all fine and everything, but you literally cannot fast pass that or skip it. You have to look through these drawers each and every time. Now, maybe if you played through once and in the second time it would have like a fast skip, but it does not. So you'll be going and have to flip and look through all these drawers to look for stuff to progress the story. It has a lot of parts like that in it, where you're just doing mundane stuff like wiping walls, flipping stuff over, and when it comes to anything that's plot related, like looking at pictures or interacting with stuff, that's perfect. I have no problem with it, but there's all this certain filler stuff that is just pointless. It's flat out pointless, and it just drags this game on way longer than it should. If they had just stuck with the actual story parts and stuff that really tied in with the plot, that wasn't just time wasting, I would have to say that it's a really, really good version of an interactive live action thriller. I actually like this. Now, keep in mind, If you are not into a psychological thriller type movie, you're probably going to find this boring at first until it starts picking up and getting into a lot of the intriguing parts. It does tell a really good story of Erica and what happened and what was going on with this cult, but you'll have to get through a lot of stuff before it gets to that main point as it picks up the pace and gets to the dramatic endings that, one of the 7 that you pick. You'll have to realize that. So if you're easily deterred by something where you're not actually controlling it that much and you're just watching something, I can't really recommend this for you. But I can say it's worth at least playing at least once so you can actually see what a really clever way of making an interactive film might be. I would love to see something like this in a movie theater. Could you imagine going to like the next Avengers movie and they'll have a part in screen where all of a sudden it slows down for bullet time and it gives you an option on a pad to press something, and based on what the percentage of people voted on, it would show that next scene like an interactive movie. That would be kind of neat. I mean, not the best example, but nonetheless you get what I'm getting at. Now, a lot of people have actually said that this is similar to a other thing, like I said, Bandersnatch, but I would say it's more like a David Cage movie. It really is, and the overall price point for this 2-hour adventure is only $10. And right now, this was part of one of the free PlayStation Plus games of the month. It was this NBA 2K20 and Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. I can definitely say download it and at least play through it once, just for this experience. It's worth it just for this experience of this really, really dynamic action thriller involving Erica. It is a good experience, though I wish they might have cut down on some of the filler aspects of it. But in the end, it is definitely worth it for pick up and play, especially if you're a trophy hunter. This is a good way to get trophies while watching something quite intriguing. Other people can watch it too and make their own decisions. And so it's honestly, it's not that bad. It really is. And, in the end, I just kind of wish that they wouldn't have had so much filler or fluff stuff that you had to do, like unlocking boxes and pulling back paper. It's just mundane stuff to drag the story on longer than it should have been. But in the end, I can still say I actually enjoyed Erica. I enjoyed playing it with my phone better than my controller. And in the end, I'm going to keep playing this because I want to get each and every single one of these trophies. This was Nate, aka Devil Dog. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching these videos. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this review. Let me know in the comments below if you played Erica and what you think of this really unique interactive film and style game. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out until next time.